Hi friends, Jill Ortiz here, and I am talking to you today about protein, one of our three macronutrients. Our macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fats. And today I wanted to talk about proteins because I feel like there's a lot of wrong information, a lot of myths out there. We hear a lot like high protein diet, you need a high protein diet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not sure where that comes from, but I think that people have the wrong mindset about protein sometimes. I want to teach you about protein, what it does for our body, why it's important, good sources, and just share some fun facts and really help you figure out where your protein level should be. So let's get right into it, okay? So what does protein do? Protein is that building block. Your body needs it in order to grow and repair your cells, your muscles, your bones, and all that good stuff. So think about protein as the building blocks, as keeping your body healthy and strong. And the body actually makes proteins, right? It makes non-essential proteins. And then you also need essential proteins that the body doesn't make. And that's why we need protein in our diets. And so there's about 20, we call amino acids that make up proteins. And 9 are in those essential amino acids that we need to consume through our diet. Now, so we have what's called a complete protein, which is the proteins that have all 9 of those amino acids. And then we have incomplete proteins. So there's 3 main sources of protein. Number 1 would be animal products, which are complete sources of protein. So they have all of those 9 essential amino acids to make it a complete protein. You also have soy products. Now there's different qualities of soy products out there. And so if you are consuming soy products, there's been a lot of controversy on them. You need to make sure that it's non-GMO, meaning it's not genetically modified, and that it's organic, because you don't want a bunch of junk in your soy products, because that's when we start to have it interfere with our hormones and other issues, and we don't want to have a lot of genetically modified food in our bodies, and we also don't want to have a lot of pesticides and all those things in there too. And then the other is plant proteins, and there are not many plant proteins that are complete either. So you have to make sure the soy products are the complete ones, but the plant products aren't. So if you're vegan or vegetarian and you're not getting those complete proteins from animal products, then you want to make sure that you're varying your food sources, your protein sources, to make sure that you are getting all those essential amino acids. So those plant proteins too, they could be beans, lentils, nuts, whole grains, and even like spinach has some protein in it. They're not like a high protein food. You would consider them more of a carb, but they do have a little bit of protein in there. So healthy animal proteins versus non-healthy animal proteins. Think lean protein. That is the one that's good for you. So you want lean meats like chicken, beef, lamb, veal, turkey, even duck, fish, seafood, eggs you want. And then there's some other proteins like dairy products that also have protein, although dairy products can be inflammatory in your body for some people. So if you suffer from a lot of inflammation, joint pain, achiness, then you definitely want to cut down on the dairy. Nuts are another great source of protein, but you have to be careful with nuts because they're high fat. So that too. And then you have legumes and beans, lentils, chickpeas, all those things that also have protein. So that is a good plant-based source of protein for vegans, vegetarians. So that's basically how we're going to get those essential proteins into our body is through our nutrition. Now, what you might want to know is how much protein you need to be consuming. And that's the really interesting thing, is that a lot of people think that a high protein diet is good, but they don't know what high protein is. So I want to tell you some really interesting stuff about that. So the average individual, right, who's sedentary, who doesn't do a lot of exercise, a normal baseline protein is really only 10 to 20%, 10 to 15% of your whole day's calories should be made up of protein. So that's why 10 to 15% is going to be protein, and the rest is going to be carbs and healthy fats, right? So that sounds really low, but that is average, right? So it's what your body, if you're just sitting around not exercising, then that's what your body needs, the protein you need to consume to continue to repair, keep a strong body, and replenish the muscles and help repair cells, right? That's what your body needs baseline. If you're working out for active athletes, a high protein diet is actually only 20 to 40% of your daily intake. So if you are familiar with macros, it's the split between your proteins, your carbs, and your healthy fats. Generally, your fats are going to be the lowest percentage. So for instance, a very balanced diet could be 40% carbs, 30% protein, which is between that 20 and 40, right? So what did I say? 40, 30, and then the other 30 would be those healthy fats, right? It's not a low fat diet. That's a very healthy, balanced diet. So you do get to eat lots of carbs, plenty of protein, right? Not overdoing it. And then you get your plenty of healthy fats, and that makes up a really great diet. Now, if you want to learn more about macronutrients and your proper calculation for how many calories you should be getting in a day, learning more about how macronutrient splits happen and what that means and how they're calculated, then you definitely want to check out my Foods for Fat Loss workshop on my website on jillortizfitness.com/programs, and check out Foods for Fat Loss. In that, I take you through how to calculate your proper percentage of macronutrients, your proper calorie target based on whether you're working out, not working out, and then I go through the really great sources of carbs, proteins, and fats to fuel your body and to fuel it if you're looking for weight loss, for muscle gain, whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. It's a really great starting point, right? And then from there, what I do with my one-on-one clients is we take that, we start, and we monitor. And number one, we stay on track for accountability. We meal plan together and all those things. And then we tweak as necessary. Maybe you need more carbs. Maybe you need less. Maybe you need more protein. Maybe you need less. And a lot of you who are going to be working with me to start building muscle, you want to be toned, you want to be strong. What we might do is we might increase that protein over time, because as you build more muscle, your body is going to need more building blocks, right? And I was reading that your body uses more energy to eat protein, right? So if you have plenty of protein in your diet, your body needs that energy to process it, and then it actually increases your metabolic rate. So if you're not eating like any protein in the day, right, you need that to stimulate your metabolic rate, because it's going to take more calories to burn your food when it's coming from that protein. I also read that, and based on myself, I know that when I eat protein, it sustains my hunger, so I get less cravings, right? But rather than eating a bunch of carbs and just burning through them, it takes a little longer for the proteins to break down. So what it does is the protein actually signals the hormones in your body that you are satisfied, and then you're less apt to eat more and overeat in subsequent meals. So that's very interesting. So you want to make sure you're spacing your protein throughout the day. One thing I was also reading about and I was researching was too much protein in your diet. And the biggest thing that I took from that because I know anybody who's feeling very constipated, sometimes it's that you're just overdoing the protein. And what that does is if you're eating too much protein, but you're eating the right amount of calories in the day, then you're basically displacing your carbs with protein. And you might be eating too few carbs. Now, carbs are generally water-based, right? Especially the healthy carbs, your fruits and your vegetables. And so you're basically displacing water. And what we know is water lubricates the system. It's good for your skin, your hair, and your organs, but it also keeps your digestive tract moving. And when we're dehydrated, we can get constipated, right? And so drinking plenty of water, but also eating foods that are full of water is really helpful with your digestion. So if you're eating a lot more protein and not enough carbs, then you're actually taking out that water source through food, right? And so you might get dehydrated and you might not see that digestion happening. And I was reading that can actually be not great for your kidney. There was another organ it was talking about. I was reading something. So another fun fact that I was also reading was that if you are working out a ton, there's this crazy myth that in order to like put on a ton of muscle mass, you need to consume a ton of protein, right? So I do a lot of lifting, so I need to eat a lot of protein. And it was interesting, I was reading that studies show that those who weight train actually don't need a bunch of extra protein, either in food or in protein powders, and that they would still gain muscle at the same rate as people who don't supplement their diets with a ton of extra protein. With regards to shakes, because if you watch me, I do drink a daily shake that has protein in it. It has about 17 grams of protein. And I also drink a recovery shake that is protein based, that has 20 grams of protein in it. So I'm actually getting a lot of my protein from these two shakes that I drink daily. And one of them was specifically has branch chain amino acids, it's called, and that is specifically developed to help you repair muscle right after you work out. And so if you don't have a supplement like that, then what you want to do is after you do your working out and you really need that muscle repair, the prime time to start helping your body with muscle repair is within the first 30 minutes of finishing your workout. And so I drink my branch chain amino acids, my BCAAs, my recovery shake, which is chocolate too, which makes me very happy, right after my workout. You also might have seen that I blend frozen cherries, I guess they're like dark cherries, with my shake, with my chocolate shake, because chocolate cherry is a fantastic combo. But what that does is it combines a carb and a protein, and that is your optimal post-workout meal, right? To help you stimulate recovery in the muscle. And what that does for me is it ensures that I'm going to show up the next day with less muscle soreness and being ready to give it my all again in my next workout, right? My other shake that I drink is in the afternoons, generally between 3 and 4 o'clock. And that one is number one, so that it sustains me so that I'm not like super duper hungry at dinner, because I don't want to eat like a huge dinner late at night. So if I don't eat from lunch until dinner, then I'd be starving at dinner, right? And so I have my protein shake in the afternoon where I need to settle my stomach, continue to rebuild cells, right? Because I like to space out that protein, and it helps me feel satisfied so that I don't go into dinner feeling starving, right? And overeat at dinner. And that's what we were talking about, is when you're eating protein at subsequent meals, you're less apt to overeat, right? But what I love about the shake that I choose to drink is that it's not a protein shake. It's more of a superfood, whole nutrition shake that really helps you in so many other aspects too. So not only is it heavy in protein, it's got the 16 to 17 grams of protein, but it also has lots of leafy greens in it for antioxidants. It's got berries in it for antioxidants. The leafy greens help with digestion and also with immunity, right? It's got digestive enzymes to help your digestive system, because I struggled a lot throughout my life with constipation. And so it helps with that. It helps with stress. It's got a lot of herbs and mushrooms in it that help the body adapt to its stresses. And it's got probiotics and prebiotics and so many great things. So you want to find, if you're looking for a protein shake, you might as well have it be more than just protein, but really be a multivitamin and help you in so many other places. So that's why I like the shake I choose to drink. And I'm always happy to send out samples if anybody wants one. And so that's how I get a lot of my protein without having to have a lot of animal protein. So I do eat animal protein. If you're joining me next week for my 5-day Kickstart cleanse, it is vegan. And it has a lot of quinoa, because quinoa is that one, it's not a grain, but it's a seed. And it actually has all 9 essential amino acids to make it a complete protein. So I have a lot of quinoa in there, and my daily shake I use, but that's just optional. And so what that does is taking out the animal proteins from my diet every once in a while, is it actually gives my digestive system a chance to relax, right? Because it takes a lot more work for the body to process meats and to break them down. And so sometimes I like to strip them out for a little bit, just for about a week at a time. But I find that my body releases a lot of bloat when I take out dairy and meat and packaged foods. And so that's what, if you're joining me next week, you'll see we get enough protein, right? But we see a change in our bodies, a really positive change in our bodies from that change in the diet. So let me see if I hit all of my fun facts. I think so. If you have any questions, this is really a great way for you to build a lean, strong body by getting really good quality proteins in the right amount from the right sources, and keeping your body healthy and strong. And that's it. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you learned. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.